Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, from the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium. We bring you a matinee performance of Senator basketball today as the Senators go back to work to take on a visiting Scottsburg Warriors team who comes in with a record of just 4-13 on the season, 1-7 in the Mid-Southern Conference. Meanwhile, the Senators come in with a 6-10 mark and will try to rebound after a 15-point loss to Crawford County in conference play here in the friendly confines on Thursday night. So today, it's the Warriors of the Mid-Southern Conference, the Senators out of the Patoka Lake, set to do battle in this midday showdown, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for this afternoon's broadcast of boys basketball here on Salem's 1220 will be my sidekick and broadcast partner, Senator football's own Coach Mark Gibson. Well, as we said, the Senators fell hard to Crawford, 53-38. A 15-point loss set them back in the conference standings, now just 1-3 in the conference, 6-10 overall. And for the Senators on Thursday night, there were a couple of sticking points for them defensively that were really backbreakers. The ability to close out on shooters, especially the Harvey kid, as he lit it up, hit 5 big triples, including the backbreaker going into the fourth off of an offensive rebound and kick out. And then, of course, they knew they were going to have their hands full with the Dearborn kid as well. And so a lack of being able to close out on guys and keep the dribble in front of them with dribble penetration caused problems on the perimeter. And then when they did allow guys into the paint, it was an easy dish off most of the time to the Dearborn kid, 6'5" strong senior, who was able to also make the Senators pay as Harvey finishes the game. The freshman sharpshooter, 17 points on the night. Again, 15 of those coming from beyond the arc, and then Matt Dearborn, their post player and presence back from last year's state finalist team in Class 2A, also chipping in 14 as well. So the Senators will hit the reset button one more time with this young group and try to get win number 7 here today, and obviously a very winnable game against Scottsburg, a team, as I say, coming in with just a 4-13 record overall, and they've struggled as well, playing with a very young roster and not a very big roster as well. So, Coach, definitely an opportunity here for Coach Smith's guys to get back on track today. We've talked about it a number of times. All of these games really that are left, outside of maybe Henryville, who can be a handful, and they've got some really nice athletes. Pretty much every game on this schedule a winnable one, and most of them here on the Ron Smith court. But today, the focus is going to have to be dribble drive defense again, because they've got a couple of kids, especially in the freshman, Trayton Owens, that can certainly break you down and get into the paint pretty quick.
Yeah, I think that's one of the main points today. We have to get back to playing defense. I thought the first half of the season, I thought defensively we looked pretty good. We were getting our hands out in the lanes and in passing lanes and doing a good job getting deflections and stuff. Well, that has kind of dwindled a little bit as the season went on. I don't know if it's a fact that we're just getting a little bit tired, tired legs, but one of the biggest things is we're going to have to be able to keep them in front, like you said. They're pretty athletic. I don't think you can look at the record and say, this is an automatic win, because they are pretty athletic. So we're going to have to, and we've struggled with athletic teams. Perry's only won a few games too, but they're really athletic and long, and we kind of struggled with them. So it'll be interesting today to see how we defend.
So the Senators looking to bounce back again. Scottsburg on the struggle bus as well, although they snapped a little losing streak of their own with a win on Thursday night on the road over at Switzerland County, winning at 54-51. But again, playing with a lot of young guys, and they've got a couple of young stars. Freshman Trey Owens, which is very familiar to some of our fellow freshmen who they've played AAU with and against. The Owens kid, pretty good, 6-foot guard for them that can handle the rock. And then Mitchell Prince, a 5'8" junior guard that averages in double figures as well. So big challenge for our backcourt today against a rather small roster for Scottsburg, and we'll see how they are able to handle this early midday performance against the Warriors. And as we welcome you to our broadcast, of course, we want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to today's broadcast of Senator Basketball here on Salem's 1220. We also want to thank the sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator Basketball and Lady Senator Basketball possible all season long. Those sponsors include John Jones GMC, bringing you our Senator Tip-Off pregame show today, as well as our halftime sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors, and Ace Hardware of Salem, that'll bring you our postgame wrap-up here from the Ron Smith Court this afternoon. Also a big shout out to McDonald's on South Main Street, Salem Walmart, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and Brady Bishop and Channel C for their generous support all season long here on WSLM. Step aside, take our first break of the day. As always, hear a word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and after that 60-second timeout, we'll be joined by Senator head coach Sean Smith to get his thoughts on today's matchup with the Warriors coming to town to the Bird. Until then, we'll make sure that keep it tuned in here to AM. Might as well just go ahead and mention this girls reminder before we go to break. Are going to be in the house as well tonight, Coach, with a championship matchup. So it's going to be a big day of basketball here. Just want to throw that out and remind fans that that tip is at 7:30, and we'll remind you throughout the broadcast today. But a 7:30 tip tonight for the girls, so we'll be on with 7 o'clock pre-game show coverage as well. And like I said, just wanted to throw that out as a little PSA before we go to that first break. We'll come back with that conversation with Coach Smith in a moment. You're listening to Senator Basketball Today on Salem's 1220.
Before the big plays, before the magical moments, before all that discipline, dedication, and teamwork finally pays off, comes your support. The IHSAA Foundation is dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and nurturing education-based athletics in Indiana. Its work will ensure IHSAA members, schools, and coaches receive the support they need so that Indiana student-athletes receive the opportunity they deserve. Learn more at ihsaafoundation.org.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show. A matinee performance on hand today as the Senators take on the Warriors of Scottsburg. And we're joined now in our pregame, as always, by Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith. Coach, again, very odd week playing on Thursday and Saturday due to girls sectional being hosted here and with the state tournament going on. And you're coming off of a tough loss, 53-38 to Crawford County on Thursday night. But, you know, I feel like there were a lot of positives to take away from that game. I know that third quarter play at the end of the period really kind of was the backbreaker on the offensive kick out off the rebound for a three that put your team down 6. But again, as we talked about in the post game, your team has showed a lot of grit, hung tough till the very late stages.
Yeah, I believe we have kids who want to win, they want to be successful. So because of that, we battle and we don't give up, which is a great thing. But the next step is understanding that every possession matters, and all it takes is one possession, one play sometimes, and it can be a breaking point in a game, or it can be, either for either team, or it can help you win or lose. So, the play you referred to was a huge play. It gave Crawford a lot of momentum. Plus, they had the ball coming out of the fourth quarter, and they were able to score and get some separation. And when you play a lot of possessional basketball games like that, we're going to be playing down the stretch here and playing in the tournament. We have to understand that every play matters, and you can't take plays off, and you can't let anything get bigger than the moment, and being ready to do your best and do your job. And so that's something we've talked about a little bit yesterday, and that's all part of the maturation process. I mean, it's just, you got to understand at the varsity level, nothing comes easy, but that's what makes playing at the varsity level, being at that highest level, that's what makes it the goal for everyone. And winning a sectional is not going to be easy, and it's not going to lower its standards for anybody. You're going to have to perform at a high level and not not take plays off, and every play matters.
And Coach, defensively, from a scouting report standpoint, really a tale of two halves, because it was the freshman, the Harvey kid that you knew was a pretty good perimeter shooter that lit it up in that first half with 14 of his 17. He gets held in check for the most part in that second half, other than that big play at the end of the third quarter. But then it was the Dearborn kid that kind of started to impose his will a little bit inside in the second half.
Yeah, we knew Dearborn was going to be a handful. We got really fortunate. He got in some foul trouble. He was taken out a little bit there because he fell on, kind of got knocked down and fell on his head. But we didn't take advantage of that, and that's something that we have to understand. I mean, we have opportunities. You got to seize them. You got to seize the moment. And we had some chances. 34, he stepped up and made some big shots for him early. Thought Parker shut him down in the second half. Did a great job. Parker's really become our top defender, for perimeter players, and he's proved himself. I mean, he's did a great job on Phillips. He shut that kid down. He does a really nice job. He's a real smart defender, but again, Dearborn, we knew he'd be a handful, and once we had to get spread, once they had a lead and we had to kind of get spread out to try to maybe turn them over or speed the game up, because they were going to basically hold the ball. He was able to. It was hard to collapse on him and really just make it difficult for him at times, and he was able to use his size and strength to his advantage.
And Coach, we all know what your players are capable of on an individual basis, including a guy like Parker Green, and you started to hit on something that I was going to next. His aggressiveness defensively was on hand Thursday night, but also offensively, I felt like this was one of the few games where he come out with an aggression on the offensive side of the ball as well.
Absolutely. We need Parker being aggressive and looking for a shot. He's got a great shot, and we want him to be confident and go out there and look to be aggressive offensively. But at the same time, I mean, he is a freshman. We're asking a lot of him most nights on defense, and he's done a fabulous job. And he also one of our better rebounders. So I mean, he does a lot of things on the nights he doesn't score to give us, a chance to win. And if we were able to, get some great offensive production out of him moving forward, that'd be fantastic, because he's more than capable.
Now you turn your attention to this matinee performance today with the Scottsburg Warriors, a team that we're not too familiar with. Coach Bausman adding them to the schedule this year. So tell us what you know about Coach Jamison's group.
Well, they're young like us. I know they start a freshman, a really nice player, and then they have in Owens, and then they have a sophomore shooter in Prince, and another sophomore really athletic, just high energy player in Sebastio. So I mean, they have three really solid young players there that come to mind instantly after watching them on film and going and scouting them. And they play really hard. They play a lot of kids. I'd say that they probably would. They maybe not be like Scottsburg teams of the past as far as up-tempo pressing and things like that, but I'd say they probably prefer a little more up-tempo type of game than maybe what we would be looking for. But they shoot a lot of threes, a lot of perimeter shots. They got everybody out there looking for their three ball. So I'm gonna try to beat you with threes a lot. But they isolate Owens real well to get to the rim, and sometimes try to isolate Sebastio where he can get to the rim and use his athleticism. So you got a real solid young core there, and I think they'll just continue to get better and better.
Coach, defensively, with thinking of some of these isolations that they like for their better players, including the freshmen, what do you throw at this group defensively today?
Well, we got to do a good job, I think, first and foremost on Owens, the freshman. We got to really do it. Not that he can't go to his left, but he's really good to his right, and so we're going to have to do a good job of trying to keep him to his left. But he's got a nice pull-up game. For a younger guy, and he gets to the rim, gets fouled. He's just a real smart player, good basketball. He's a good basketball player. And then the Prince kid, we got to make him put it down. We got to be there on the catch with a hand up, so he gets his feet set. He's got a clear window. He's going to make it. He's a really nice shooter. He's got some good hesitation moves and things like that off the dribble, as well. So I mean, we have to do a good job keeping him in front. And then Sebastian and the rest of their big guys, we got to keep those guys off the glass. They score a lot of offensive rebounds too. You got to be aware of all their players because they all can shoot. They all will shoot. So they're I know they've only won 3 games, but they play a really strong schedule, and it's going to be a really tough game for us. I mean, they're battle tested.
And not only does this group kind of mirror us with their youth coach, but also with their size. You look at their roster, they got one kid at 6'3", one at 6'4", and the rest of them are basically 6 foot or under. So a team that really we match up well with and probably have an advantage a little bit with in the post.
I think we could potentially have a little advantage. Depending on if we come to play, if we're playing on our heels, and then we won't. And that's the thing we talked a lot about yesterday too. I mean, you cannot keep coming out and playing on our heels. You got to come out to fight, and you got to be ready to fight every possession. And when you make moves and take shots, there's got to be some conviction there. There's got to be some commitment to it, and belief that you're going to make it, and not just kind of going through the motions like sometimes we might fall into doing, because I don't think it's because of a lack of want to or desire to compete or anything like that. I think it's just sometimes we're young and we let a bad play or something like that affect our next play, and we can't do that. We've got to understand that basketball is not a game of perfection. You miss shots. Sometimes things don't work in your favor. The other guy makes a better play than you. You just learn from it and you bounce back and you try to win the next play. And that's something we got to keep working on too, at the mental side of the game.
Everybody healthy coming into today's matchup with Scottsburg, and what's your lineup look like, Coach?
Yeah, I think everybody's healthy, and we'll go with the same lineup we've been going with here since the Mitchell game, with 3 guards and Bousman, Zink, and Green, and then Sanford and Mars at the forwards.
Coach, we wish you all the best today against the Warriors. Look forward to your time with us after the game as well.
Hey, I appreciate it.
That was my conversation with Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith, prior to the tip here in this matinee performance today, as the Senators will take on the Scottsburg Warriors. 2 young teams, not a lot of wins between them, so both teams hungry to try to get on track here as we roll into the month of February. Just a little under 2 minutes to go before we pause for the national anthem, so we'll bring you today's Keys to Victory, again brought to you by our pregame show sponsor, John Jones, GM City. First and foremost, Coach, I think the dribble drive defense is huge because it was not very good the other night against Crawford County. Got to be able to keep a kid like Owens and Prince, either one in front of us, off the dribble drive, keep them out of the paint. Secondly, I kept free throws as a key to victory. We said it the other night, we're just not getting the volume of free throws that we need. And when you look back the other night, we were 7 of 9 for the entire ball game, and that's not going to cut it, especially when you're at home. And then perimeter shooting, we got to knock down some open looks. We've had several, but at some point they're going to fall. Our guys have to stay confident, stay poised out on the perimeter, and be ready to knock the shots down when they have them available.
That's funny. I actually wrote that down on mine as well. At some point we have to start making shots. We're starting to shoot a little bit better, but especially in the first half, I do those stats. In the first half, our opponents are shooting 46%, where we're only shooting 36% in the first half. So, I mean, that's a big key. And, if you keep shooting, if they stay that way, and we've seen it, we're down 5 or 6, 7, 8 points at half, and it's because of shooting.
Those keys to victory brought to you by John Jones, GM City, all season long on our pregame show. Find them on the web at johnjonesautogroup.com. Call them at 1-800-ISELL-GM. That's 1-800-473-5546. Or stop by their beautiful showroom and lot at 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones, GM City. You see so many because they pay so little. We'll come back with our starting lineups and opening tip between the Warriors and Senators right after this. John Jones. GM City again, 1-800-I-SELL-GM, 1-800-473-5546, or check them out on the web, johnjonesautogroup.com, or stop by that showroom and lot at 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones, GM City. You see so many because they paid so little. First for the Scottsburg Warriors today, coming to the Berg with a 4-13 record. Again, just 1-7 in the Mid-Southern Conference. They did pick up a win, 54-51 at Switzerland County on Thursday night. Brent Jamison, the coach in his second season, owns a 9-32 record. His team averages 49.9 per game, but gives up 62.4. They'll start a two-guard set. Trey Owens is what I'll refer to him as most of the day. Trey, a 6-foot freshman at 13 points per game to lead the team. He's joined in the backcourt by number 2, Mitchell Prince, 5'8", and a junior at 11 points per contest. Up front, small forward, guard spot, number 20, Jimmy Neese, 6 foot and a junior at 6 points per game. He'll be joined up front by Brantley Deet, number 23. He's a 6'1" sophomore at 6 points per ball game. And number 24 in the middle is Nicholas Sebastio, 6'3", and a sophomore at 11 points per contest for the Scottsburg Warriors. And now for your West Washington Senators, with a 6-10 record overall, 1-3 in the Patoka Lake. Coach Sean Smith, in his 4th season in Campbellsburg, owns a 58-36 mark. 12th year overall, he's 143 and 125. His team averages 48.6 per game while giving up 49.7. They're coming off of that 53-38 loss here at home to Crawford on Thursday night. 3-guard set, as you heard Coach say, same as always. The little trio in the backcourt will be 22 Holden Bousman, 6 foot, and a freshman. He'll run the show at 8.1 points per game and 2.5 rebounds. He's also dishing out 3.6 assists per contest. Joining him is number 10, Cam Zink, 6 foot and a senior at 3.8 points per game and 2 boards. And Parker Green, number 12, another 6-foot freshman at 6.1 points per game and nearly 4 rebounds per contest. Up front on the blocks, 24, Harrison Sanford, 6'2" and a sophomore. He averages 6.2 per game and 4 rebounds. He'll go along with the senior 6'3", Nick Mars, 10 points per game to lead the team and nearly 5 boards per contest for Coach Sean Smith. No meetings in the last 30 years between these two ball clubs, but certainly not too far away from one another in rival conferences. PLAC and MSC set to get it on here today. The Warriors in the road purple unis trimmed in gold letters and numerals with the Warrior logo on the shorts on the side. Senators in the home white threads trimmed in red and blue, flying W on the shorts, and blue letters and numerals trimmed in red in those Under Armour unis. Today's Indiana High School Athletic Association officials are Mr. Alan Nante, as well as Wayne Fugate and Wayne Patterson. Ball is up, tips away, and it will go to the Warriors to start. Scottsburg will have the first crack at it. Glad to have you along for this matinee performance here today ahead of the girls' action. As we said earlier today, tonight the girls will be in action in sectional 62 in the championship game. As quickly the Warriors go to Sebastio, and he's able to get a quick bucket and get Scottsburg out to the early 2-0 lead. But again, we're glad to have you along. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson. Craig Akers running the video feed for you as well if you choose to watch as well as listen at home today. Just over a half minute gone by. Scottsburg out to the early 2-0 advantage as Green controls the dribble out front. Sends it off left wing now to Harrison Sanford. He'll dribble it back out top. Little shuffle spread, little 5-out pass and slash. Little guard replace out top. Guys continue to shuffle through the paint. A lot of traffic in there. As Scottsburg playing a little bit of a sagging man defense, trying to help on those cutters, Coach.
Yeah, it seemed like a little pack line defense, really just kind of trying to keep us out of the lane.
Mars will fire a deep 3 off the mark, no good. Sebastio, long and athletic, pulls down the rebound. Again, a 6'3" sophomore. And he showed his athleticism on that dribble drive take on the left side on the first possession.
Just what Coach Smith was worried about. He talked about it in your pregame interview that they'll isolate him on one side, and they're doing it again.
Scottsburg on the kick out, wanted a 3, and it'll be a whistle and a travel on Mitchell Prince. So that'll be the first turnover of the day for either ball club. 6:31 to go here in the opening act. It's a 2-0 lead early for Scottsburg.
You know, we don't play too many of these matinee games, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of start that we can come up with here.
Especially with just a day's rest. And underneath, Harrison shows his take ability to the rim as He works the dribble drive, takes some contact. We're tied at 2 apiece. Back to the other end. 3 ball off the mark, no good for the Warriors. So we'll go to the Senators as it ricochets out of bounds, far corner. Not a bad crowd on hand, but I'm sure, again, this gym will be rocking tonight at 7:30 for that girls' championship matchup as they'll take on Trinity Lutheran with that 7:30 tip. So fans, if you're listening, we love having people listen on the radio and join us for the broadcast, but we'd much rather you be here in person tonight to cheer on the girls as Nick Mars is able to finish underneath. Nice post move for him on the drop step. Senators with their first lead at 4-2. Senators, though, savvy on defense. Back to the other end. Cam leads ahead to Holden. Counted and one for the freshman as Holden gets it off the leak out. Nice pass ahead on the assist to Cam Zink. And Holden to the free throw line for an and one opportunity on the year, Coach. He's not shot a lot. 13 of 20 for 65%.
It's good to see him being aggressive. He leaked out on the rebound. Cam, that's 2 assists in a row for Cam. So nice to see him getting involved.
Holden missed the 3-point play opportunity. Couldn't come up with the free throw. So the Senators will operate with their largest lead now at 6-2. Little double screen rub off the block, trying to free up shooters. Can't get anybody free, so they'll reverse it back around now to Deaton. Ball out to Prince. Prince goes behind the back, and Holden will come out and apply pressure, dribble drive, penetration. They get it underneath what they wanted. It goes right to Deaton, and he misses underneath, and Zink will pull another board. He'll lead ahead quickly to Holden, skips it cross court to Parker. Thought about the stop and pop. Instead kicks it out, and Zink will slow it up now, rolling up on the 5-minute mark of this first quarter, and the Senators operating with a 4-point advantage. They'll try to isolate in the high post for Mars. He had it poked away, runs out to get it on the perimeter, and now to Holden in the corner left side. He kicks out on the reversal to Sanford. Sanford using up the dribble, nowhere to go, gives it back to Holden, dribbles into the high post, kicks, corner, 3 ball on the way is good for Parker Green. And the Senators starting to heat it up a little bit, Coach. That's a 9-2 advantage, and again, Parker being aggressive from the perimeter.
Coach Smith talked about it, we've talked about it. It's all about the start, especially, an early game like this. A nice start for the Senators.
And what was one of our keys to victory, Coach?
Knocking down shots.
Yep, getting that perimeter shot to go, and Parker gets one going. I believe we're 1 of 2 now with Nick missing that first one. And Senators force the second turnover of the afternoon.
Parker
Substitution here is number 12, Andrew Slayton checks in, a 5'9" sophomore, and he will spell 23. That's Brantley Deaton.
Nice to see Parker knock that shot down, but it's really nice to see him 2 possessions in a row here. He stopped Owens from getting to the basket, and that's what we were afraid of. So Parker playing some good D as well.
Parker with it out front, ball reversal now to Holden. High post left side on the elbow to Sanford. 2 dribbles, nowhere to go, steps through, and he'll be whistled for a travel across the way. First turnover of the afternoon for the Senators. By the way, while we have time, JV score today, Clayton Sullivan's group falls 44-34 in JV action, dropping them to 10-6 on the year. And congratulations to our senior wrestler, Griffin Packwood, pinned the kid from Salem in the first round, guaranteeing him a shot at semi-state down at Evansville next weekend. Griffin with a couple more matches, though, left for seeding purposes as Scottsburg comes up dry from the perimeter again, and Nick pulls the board. His next match, Griffin's next match down at Jeffersonville today, will be against Jacob Bolt. He's got a 26-7 record, and he's a junior from Columbus East. So congratulations to Griffin for punching his ticket to the semi-state. We'll just hope now that he can finish out the day strong and have good seeding going down to Evansville next week for semi-state.
Yeah, and you talked to him the other night. You could tell with his confidence level. Griffin is really confident. I talked to him yesterday. We had a little film session with Coach Tankersley, and he did a little workout. And I talked to him in the football office, and he was super confident. He said, I've been getting better throughout the whole wrestling season, and I feel confident that, Griffin was saying he beat me earlier in the year, but I feel like I've improved more than he has. And it's great to see. First year of wrestling here. It's been a great year, second in the conference. We've had 4 or 5, I think, conference champions, if I'm not right, 4 or 5. And then Griffin now going to semi-state. Just an awesome year for the first year program. So congrats to Coach Tankersley and especially to Griffin.
There's a 30-second timeout on the floor by Scottsburg after the held ball. So the Senators maintain possession, double stack, and deflected away. Parker will have to reset it again, as we'll see number 1, Patrick Lincoln, a 6'1" junior, come off the bench. And it looks like he will spell Jimmy Neese. So double stack again, one on the block, one on the high post elbow. Zink had it, thought about 3, gives it back to Holden. They're going to
Stepped on
say
the out of bounds.
Holden with a little step back, actually stepped on the sideline, but a nice day for West Washington already, Coach, as Kyle Stewart's team, his 8th grade group, who had not won a game all year, upset Salem in the back gym in the junior high tourney, so they will play Eastern now for the championship on Monday night. So congratulations to Kyle Stewart and his 8th grade boys as they knock out Salem, as the Senators force a 3rd turnover for Scottsburg, and Harrison tries to come to the other end, and we'll have a foul on the floor against the Warriors. But again, nice start. Griffin takes out a kid from Salem in the opening round with a big pin down at Jeff. The kids in the back gym taking care of business in the 8th grade game, so a great day. Great start for Senator Athletics. We'll hope it continues, and it does here with Holden Bousman knocking down the big triple from deep straight away. And it is now a 12-2 advantage for the Senators in this first quarter of play with just under 3 minutes to go.
Knockdown shots. Sometimes it's as simple as that. It's so far so good.
And he had struggled so much from beyond the arc this season. It's good to see him finally get one to go.
It was a nice smooth stroke, and he was confident. He knew he was going to put it up.
Underneath, Parker may have got away with the foul as he thought Owens lost the handle on it. Last foul, by the way, on Scottsburg goes on Patrick Lincoln, who had just subbed into the ball game. They'll go a little 3-1 spread, and underneath, Sebastio catches mid-post, has it past to Trayton Owens, and it was rejected out of there by Parker Green. Parker, his defensive prowess has been something special, but Sebastio gets it back off the second chance opportunity. Is able to get to the rack for 2 more, so that breaks a 12-0 run for the Senators. They got down 2-0 early, rattled off 12 straight. Now it's a 12-4 ball game. Zink underneath, tied up in the post. Alternating possession will go to the Warriors with 2:07 to go. But again, Coach, just talking about the success of our other athletes here at the school. You hope success breeds success in a short amount of time, not only for our boys, but again for the girls tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I said. You just want to keep building on success. I mean, that's the way you do it. With being Super Bowl Sunday, we can talk about the Patriots way a little bit. You roll your eyes, but I mean, I'm not a fan, but apparently something's working up there. So
this is
maybe
true.
It's Spygate, I don't know.
It might be, or Deflategate, or any other gate you want to refer to, as Cam Zink checks out.
But, the point's the same, is to build on success.
Sure. Caden Abel's a 5'7" junior in for his first minutes of the day, 2.5 point per game average. And on the kick out, Andrew Slayton into the ball game, as we said earlier, fresh in off the bench. Thought about 3, instead passed it away. And a nice steal by Nick as they tried to feed on the lob inside to deep, and it would not go. So that's turnover number 4 already for Scottsburg, and Holden using a little change of speed.
Oh, they called on the floor anyway.
I
was really hoping to get that and one, but I think he
called
on
the floor. But Holden, using that change of speed, kicked it into another gear about halfway down the lane. Draws another Scottsburg foul. This will be the first on Sebastio. So they'll kick out on the inbounds pass to Abels. Right back to Holden for 3 more, and Holden off to the hot start. He's got 8, 2 big triples. And they are rolling 15-4 here early.
It just seems like the confidence levels, and once you make a couple of shots, it just magnifies. It's really amazing how 1-2 shots can change it.
And it seems to be fueling our defense, but Sebastio trying to keep Scottsburg's head above water here. He's got all 6 for them as we roll under a minute to play now in this opening act.
We saw it last night when Grody was basically their only offense other than Hesse, but, it takes a toll after a while. If he's going to be their only offense, we just have to kind of tread water, and he's going to wear out eventually.
Senators going back to last year's playbook, much like they did earlier in a few games prior. They tried to go back to that weak side low look, little post ISO, tried to get Parker. Ball bobbled away on this possession, though, as the Senators turn it over for the 3rd time. And from behind, we're going to get our first Senator foul of the day. And it was Holden who tried to get the swipe from behind. And a substitution again in the rotation. Trey Owens checks in. He'll spell Patrick Lincoln, and they'll reset in front of us with 36.6 on the clock.
A key, that's his first foul. That's a key. He's real confident with his shot right now. We're talking about Holden. Can't get a silly foul here real quick. That'll send him to the bench.
Holden will try to keep Mitchell Prince left here. Senators matching up. Parker and Noah with a foot, at least 1 foot, in the lane or at the lane for help side. Count was on. Holden out pressuring Prince. They'll go in the corner to Sebastio. He'll quickly get it out of trouble now. Over to Slayton. Slayton looking to dribble drive. Working against Abels, and Sebastio catches mid-post, and he's got all 8 for the Warriors. Glad that he made it off the bus. As Holden shoots 1 3/4 court, it would not go. We'll come to the close of this first quarter of play, and a nice start for the Senators in this midday showdown. 15-8 after the first stop. Senators out in front. We'll step aside. We'll take our break here at the quarter. We'll come back with second quarter action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Senators will have it to start the second quarter of play as Abels takes the inbounds pass across the way, steps back, 3 ball in the way, long, no good. There to fight for the rebound were Sebastio and Parker. Parker had it poked away by Sebastio, so the Senators will maintain possession. Again, double stack as 6'4" freshman Jake Strange has checked in. Kick out to Holden, 3. Couldn't get that one to go. Left it just a bit short, but a good look for Holden. And back to the other end. We'll have a Senator foul. Their second of the afternoon, as this one will go on Parker Green. Him and Holden with 1 apiece. Scottsburg committing 3 personals in that first quarter of play. Turnover-wise, 4 for Scottsburg in the first period to 3 for West Washington. Little lob out front to Owens. He'll go right back in the corner to Prince. Prince, hesitation, dribble drive into traffic among the trees. With Mars and Strange both in there, he misses, and Holden now will bring it back against Prince the other way. Lays it off for Abels. Abels out there with Green and Bausman in the backcourt. Strange and Mars up front for the Senators as we open up this second quarter. 3-man dribble drive with the weave out front. Strange and Mars working the short corner as Parker catches left side, gives it in the corner now to Jake. He'll skip it cross court. Abels, deep 2, fadeaway jumper off the mark, no good. And we'll have a rebounding foul, foul number 3. Wayne Fugate with the call, and this one will go against Nick Mars as he picks up his first of the afternoon. And Owens will bring it up now for the Warriors. Out there with Sebastio, Deaton, Prince, and Casey Smith, a 5'11" senior, in for his first minutes of the day. Shot off the mark, no good, won't go for Smith. And the Senators will track it down in the corner as Parker and Holden will bring it up and into the front court.
Defensively doing a nice job of contesting those shots.
Getting in there and making it very difficult off the dribble drive. Another one of our keys to victory. Parker Green got it to go again from downtown. Parker with 2 triples on the afternoon. 18-8, back to a 10-point advantage for the Senators. Again, using that 12-0 scoring run after they give up the first basket of the day to give themselves the comfortable lead early, and now an and 1 to the other end as Smith. It is Casey Smith that gets into the paint. Another reserve for Coach Jamison and the Warriors, making now 18-10. Zink will check into the ball game and spell Abels, who picked up the personal, and he'll have a seat and get some instruction from Coach Smith as he heads to the bench. Substitution here is number 20, Jimmy Neese, 6-foot junior, will check in and break Sebastio for a minute. So good chance for our bigs to go to work with Sebastio now getting a breather, Coach.
Right, that's what he did some work in that first quarter. All 8 of their points, if I'm not mistaken. So he deserves a little bit of a breather.
Casey Smith knocks down the free throw, completes the three-point play opportunity. Scottsburg just a 66% team from the line. Senators shoot it at 61%.
See if Coach changes his offensive set a little bit to see if he can't get that a post entry.
Trying to work a little high-low. Spacing's not very good right now with Strange and Mars out there. And now they'll go into their swing 'em set. And a little high-low post look. Jake and Nick trying to exchange. Holden, tough runner. It won't go. Jake, offensive rebound. Back up. It won't go. Mars, offensive rebound. Back up in the end. And Mars has 4. 2 big offensive rebounds, 1 for each of our twin towers out there right now. And Strange and Mars dribble drive back to the other end, partially blocked on the take. Prince had it partially swatted by Mars. Senators back in transition. Parker stops, pops, got it to go! Another one for Parker from downtown. He's got 9 all from beyond the arc, and it's 23-11. To the other end, Scottsburg to answer with a 3 from Smith. The back baskets for him. 6 points off the bench, and it's 23-14.
Big
Parker
answer for the Warriors.
Down low to Jake Strange, and Fugate's going to call a player control as Jake started to dip the shoulder just a little
got
bit.
to be under control. I mean, it's a nice thought, but if it's not there, you got to control your body. You can't just go flying into him. But Jake did a nice job. 3 rebounds while he's in, 1 offensive.
Jake will have a seat. And he picks up the player control. That's also our first turnover of the quarter. Now 4.5 as Gavin Smith, the 6'2 sophomore, is checked into the ball game at 3.6 points per game. He's out there with Green, Bousman, Zink, and Mars. Senators sticking with a little man-to-man defense in the half court as they're switching off when needed. Parker now out on Smith, who scored 6 straight. Smith goes off the dribble, had it blocked on the help side. Good help side swat by Smith, but they're going to get the bump on the way up. And for the Senators, they're going to get Cam Zink for his first team foul, number 6 already. Again, Scottsburg committing 3 in the first quarter. And guess who? Casey Smith back to the line, the hot hand. He's got all 6 in this quarter. Left that one short, though. He'll get 1 more. Again, in the first quarter, Sebastio with all 8 of Scottsburg's points, and now in the second quarter, it's been all Casey Smith off the bench. Second free throw up, and it's short as well. Sebastio back in, offensive rebound, couldn't get the putback to go, and Holden will wipe the glass clean and bring it the other way. Of course, just slinging it to the front court, finds Green. The 2 freshmen working it, pitch and catch out front. Now reverses it around on the right side to Zink, who looked in the post for a moment. They'll reverse it back to Holden on the left side. 4:30 and counting, second quarter. Out front, Holden trying to give it up as he gives it to Zink. Zink tracked it down, tried to save it in. It's a turnover to the other end. Prince, we're going to have a foul on Scottsburg, but it's a unique foul because it was Prince who tried to kind of lob it and save it back to Sebastio, but he went over the back of Parker, nearly ran him over. So turnover for the Warriors, their first of the quarter.
Unfortunate there, didn't we?
And that's big, Coach, because that's Sebastio's second personal. As Prince will have a seat, Sebastio will stay with the 2 personals.
He didn't stay on the bench very long for that breather either. I don't think Coach thinks he can keep him on the bench for very long.
Sebastio took his whole leg and thigh and bumped Nick completely off the block to the high post. Nick catches opposite elbow, skies for his own rebound, could not come up with it. Smith will lead the break, has it poked away, Holden with the steal to the other end. Nick, pump fake, had his shot blocked after the pump fake, and now he'll exchange some words with number 20, Jimmy Neese. Neese working the jaw a little bit too much. And Nick turned around and had something to say back to him as they're trying to get physical with Mars. And Coach Bousman just called it. You heard him probably through the
if they
speaker.
don't, I mean, that's when you need to talk to them, because if you let it go.
Nice pass from Nick underneath to Parker underneath, and Parker with 11 already in the first half.
Things can escalate if you don't if you don't nip it in the bud.
25-11, largest lead. Or excuse me, 25-14, 11-point lead, largest of the day. Harrison Sanford set to check back in, next dead ball. Senators in firm control here as Coach Jamison continues to look for an answer. Scottsburg struggling a little bit from the floor in the period.
And like we talked about last night, with the lead, you don't have to play real fast. So get a good shot here. 11-point lead, 3 minutes to go, just over 3. Run your offense, get a good shot.
Spreading the floor again, that little 3 out, 2 in, little high post. They're trying to get Gavin high post. They can't do it. Now a backdoor. Parker, pull-up jumper. It won't go. Fighting for his own rebound. Ball ping-pongs off of a Scottsburg player, and it'll stay with the Senators as Prince will check back in for the Scottsburg Warriors. Harrison Sanford comes back in. He'll spell Nick Mars after a superb first half for him as well. Nick's been very strong, physical, and setting the tone in the paint, especially in this second quarter of play. 2:58 to go.
4 points, a couple rebounds, an assist, a steal. Did a little bit of everything so far this first half for Nick.
Jack of all trades, the senior getting it done out there as they get it in safely to Holden, who gives it up to Cam Zink out top. Again, under 3 minutes to play before the half, and it's a 25-14 advantage for the Senators. Dribble drive off the Holden Bousman. Holden kicks baseline left side. Harrison thought about a take, kicks back out to Holden, and they'll reset it again. Scottsburg stingy with the defense as they've tightened up off of that sagging man a little bit, tightening up on shooters because Holden and Parker's had a dandy of a first half. Zink with it, breaks the dribble, breaks the count rather with the dribble, got a shot blocked and deflected off of the Senator. As we'll see 5'10" junior Mikey Nichols check in for his first minutes of the day. Parker a well-deserved breather. Sebastio back in, and as he comes in, he will spell Jimmy Neese.
Cam's been pretty active today too, 3 rebounds, a couple assists, but that was kind of a force. I mean, we talked about get a good shot. He kind of forced that one a little bit.
Casey Smith will walk it up. He'll be met at the timeline by Nichols. Senator sticking with the man-to-man in this half. Smith with it, looks for Sebastio. They get it to him, but then he loses the handle. Harrison gets the steal and then steps out of bounds inadvertently. 2:10 to go, so right at the 2-minute warning of this first half, Senators again enjoying their largest lead of the day of 11 at 25-14 underneath. They get it to Sebastio.
50-50 ball when nobody was looking.
Everybody had their head turned, fell asleep. Sebastio saves the possession. And it comes out to Prince, and now he'll try to slow things up just a little bit. Looking to try to go dribble drive. Had it poked away by Holden. Holden on the floor, nearly comes up with the steal. Gives it to Sebastio, though. On the reversal does Prince. Back to Smith. Smith stops in the paint, and on the pivot, he'll be whistled for the travel. 4th turnover of the period, 8.5 for the Warriors. Chance for the Senators to extend our largest lead here with a good possession.
11-point lead again. We're talking, they're kind of, early in the half, they were sagging back down the lane. Now they're kind of up in our face a little bit and trying to change things up.
And so with that, they'll pay with the foul.
We have to make sure we make good passes and handle the ball.
Lincoln picks up his second personal, team foul number 5. As Parker checks in, he'll sub in for his classmate and backcourt teammate, Holden Bousman, who will get a well-deserved breather, his first breather of the day. Little 1-4 high stack, and they're going to rub Mikey Nichols off of a double out top. Parker will have to throw it out deep, and he'll throw it to Gavin Smith. 2 players on the floor. Nichols on the floor with Sebastio to try to save it. Sebastio.
That might be his third.
It will be his third. That's big. Sebastio knocked down Nichols. What happened? They threw it over the top. Gavin tipped it, but so did the kid from Scottsburg, and they both fell to the floor. Nichols goes to chase it down, and Sebastio tackles him from behind, and that's his third, team foul number 6. Jamison doesn't agree with the loose ball foul. Nonetheless, it'll go against the Warriors here as they've got, there it is, they finally put it up on the board. His third personal. Hadn't put it up on the board, made some of the coaching staff a little nervous as Zink picks up his dribble out top, gives it off to Gavin Smith. He's in trouble in the corner.
I'm not too sure. Coach might not take a timeout here. Things are a little helter-skelter.
Parker in there with Zink and Nichols, Harrison and Gavin Smith. And Gavin, nice speed from Harrison. He drops the dime into Gavin Smith. Sophomore to sophomore connection, and Gavin sticks it in the piggy bank for 2 more, and it's a 27-14 advantage for the Senators. Underneath, pump fake, Deaton able to finish, or excuse me, Neese rather, able to finish off glass for the Warriors, making now 27-16, 50 seconds to play in this first half. Zink gives it off dangerously out to Parker near the timeline. as they inch out closer with that dribble weave to midcourt. Backdoor feed to Nichols, slings it off underneath. Beautiful pass to Gavin Smith. He blew the wide open layup on the step through, and with a half minute to play, they'll have to find Prince in transition. Dribble drive, they let him into the paint. Nice partial block by Saintford on the shot attempt by Prince as they force the miss, and the Senators come back to the other end with 20 seconds to play and a chance to hold for one. Zink through the legs, out top, breaks the 5-second count into the paint, goes off glass, misses. Harrison, offensive rebound, put back, it would not go. And Neese pulls the rebound off to Prince. He'll push left side. He's double teamed. He'll try to skip it cross court. It goes off the deflection into the hands of Jimmy Neese, and his shot off the mark as the Wild first half comes to a close. But the Senators will take a 27-16 advantage into the halftime break. We'll step aside, get our first halftime report of the day in. Again, we'll have one tonight as well with championship action on hand here with the girls in sectional 62. But we'll come back to begin our first halftime report of the day, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. In just a moment, you're listening to Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220 WSLM. Back to the Ron Smith court where we begin our halftime report, brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors. Chuckaduck did not go in my favor today, Coach. A little off my game with this midday performance. I'm used to throwing in the evening, so kind of like a pitcher that has an early start, early day game, as Bob Potter's been drawn for the half-court shot. And Bob, in his heyday, probably would have soaked that, nothing but net, but well short on the first Harrison hoop shoot half-court shot. And Chloe Green, one of our students here at West Washington Elementary, wins the Chuckaduck contest. So $25 to Chloe. As Claude said, she must have went to the Academy of Chuckaduck. So Noah and Parker's little sister wins the Chuckaduck. I told him that she was the MVP of the clinic.
Yeah, that's it's nice for her. She's been. She got some film last night of a huddle of your toss from last night.
Is that it?
Yeah,
Okay.
she was watching the huddle film of Chuckaduck. So
hey, film study never hurt anybody.
No, it's a major part of athletic success. So She obviously learned some good things from watching that film.
Hey, it's all in the follow through. She learned that. It's all in the follow through. Here at the half,
It
Senators.
doesn't matter what uniform those Ducks are wearing.
Now that is part of. I can't let all of the
Oh,
secrets of the trade out, but
it's not the cowboy hat duck, is it?
No, it's not. But there are particular ones that are better than others. But you're going to have to pay full price for the clinic or the DVD if you want all the hints and tricks of the trade.
Yeah, you can't give away that much information for free.
You can't tell all the cook's secrets in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You can't let all the recipe go for free. As the Senators lead it here 27-16 over the Warriors at the half. Let's run down the individual scoring. First for the Scottsburg Warriors, not a lot to speak of, just 3 guys in the book thus far, as Nicholas Sabasio leads the team with 8 points at the half for Scottsburg, all of them coming in that first quarter. Of course, he got in foul trouble and picked up his 3rd there toward the end of the second quarter of play, but held him in check in that second frame. Casey Smith come off the bench to be the second leading scorer with 6 straight points there at the beginning of the second period. Jimmy Neese with 2. Trey Owens scoreless thus far, as well as Mitchell Prince, 2 guys that were started on the scouting report. And Brantley Deaton also started but did not score. Andrew Slayton come off the bench, went scoreless, as well as Patrick Lincoln coming off the bench as well, but unable to tally. Scottsburg Warriors just 1 of 3 from the free throw line in that first half. For 33%, they turned it over a total of 8 times, 4 in each period of play. Meanwhile, for the Senators, man, have they got the young guys rolling quick here today, as Parker and Holden, that dynamic duo in the freshman backcourt, getting it done and delivering 19 of the team's 27. Parker with 11, including 3 big triples from downtown. Holden finally getting his stroke to go from beyond the arc as well. He knocked down a couple of triples in that first quarter of play. He finishes the first half with 8. Cam Zink scoreless in the first half of play as a starter. Harrison Sanford chips in 2. Nick Mars with 4. Jake Strange, Mikey Nichols, Caden Abels, Gavin Smith play in the 9-man rotation in the first half. The only one able to tally, though, off the bench was Gavin Smith, who chipped in 2 points off a nice feed underneath from his classmate Harrison Sanford with the assist. Senators, though, one area of concern still, just 1 free throw attempt in that first half, 0 for 1, that taken by Holden on the backside of an old-fashioned 3-point play opportunity. And the Senators turned it over just 6 times in the first half, 3 in each quarter. After the first quarter, 15-8, Senators were in front. Remember, they got down 2-0 early and used a 12-0 run to get things rolling in that first period. And then they outscored the Warriors 12-8 in the second frame to take the 27-16 advantage here at the half. And we'll step aside. We'll take a quick break and let Coach Gibson come back and give you the team statistics right after this.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MediView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Back here at halftime, where West Washington leads 27-16 in this matinee boys game. I'm still trying to figure out where to get that huddle film from, the Chuck-a-Duck.
You can buy the DVD version.
Oh,
I'll
is
have
this
Craig burn
okay?
it. It's
all right.
For you. We'll do 1995.
I didn't know if this was a as seen on TV thing.
1995, but if you purchase today, we'll give you the bonus booklet as well.
Okay, so quick stats real quick. Both teams inside the arc shot 6 of 15 for 40%, where the big difference is in this 27-16 Senator lead, where the Senators shoot 5 of 9 from behind the arc. for 56%. So that's probably the best half of the season for the Senators, whereas the Warriors just shoot 1 of 5 for 20%. Overall, the Senators shoot 46% in that half to Scottsburg's 35%. So it's good to see the Senators start off a game where they're feeling confident and feeling smooth and putting the ball in the bucket. Because, like we said in the pregame, sometimes it's as simple as not turning the ball over and hitting shots. Again, Senators doing some work on the boards, leading the halftime rebounding edge 12-7. Jake Strange pitched in 3 rebounds, 1 offensive. Cam Zink also had 3 assists. Holden already has 4 assists. Cam has 2, and have several people with steals. Holden has a steal. Harrison Sanford has 2 steals. Mars has a steal. Parker Green also has 2 blocks already. So a good first half for the Senators. Not sure. I'm sure he probably talked about Sebastian a little bit in the locker room. So we got to keep an eye on him. And 11-point lead that with if they knock down a couple triples could be a race in a hurry. So we got to come out with intensity in the second half.
Let's pause while we have just a second as the clock winds down. We'll pause 10 seconds for our first station identification break of the day. You're listening to Senator Basketball all day long here on WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
During the station identification break, Coach Gibson suggesting maybe that I go a little Kent Murphy and pull out an instructional video. So we may work on that some.
Yeah, you have to break Chuck a Duck down from a fundamental standpoint.
You know what that sounds like? That sounds like a perfect activity for the Senator football camp out. Come up here about 3 o'clock in the morning.
You're right.
Get the boys to assist in that. That might be something we work on in the offseason. A little Chuck a Duck, Kent Murphy video as Scottsburg opens up the third quarter with the basketball. By the way, Cam Zink not in the lineup as Abels gets the start, gets a steal, and he'll try to go coast to coast and got smacked. That's going to leave a mark as he got hammered across the forearm. Heard that one through the headset as Abels gets the start for Cam Zink, coming out of the locker room from the half. Zink was battling a bloody nose. He's got the problem solved, though, as he's made his way down to the bench to sit beside Coach Sullivan as Abels goes to the free throw line. First foul of the half for either ball club. That one goes against Casey Smith, who gets the start at the half. Abels able to knock down 1 of 2, get his first point of the day. It's now a 28-16 advantage as Griffin Packwood get word that he has made his way to the mat and his second match underway. But remember, no matter what he finishes with the other 2 matches today, as Parker has one block from behind, fight for the rebound to stay with Senators. Remember, after pinning the kid from Salem, he's guaranteed a semi-state trip to Evansville, but taking on the Holt kid from Columbus East. So he is on the mat now and wrestling away, and we'll keep you updated with his results as the broadcast continues. 45 seconds now gone by in this third quarter of play. 12-point lead for the Senators. And they try to feed down low. Parker grabs his head. He knew that pass a little too errant and outside as he tried to feed Mars in the post. Turnover number 7 for West Washington.
If we can keep it around there, if you said that we had 6 in the first half and that was 7, right there.
Yep.
So, 6.5 isn't bad for a high school game. So we just got to make sure we value the possessions, like Coach Smith said in the pregame.
And jumper off the way will not go for Trey Owens as he struggles and continues to look for his first points of the day. Harrison blew an open layup off the pump fake, coming out there with its Prince. Nifty move behind the back, gets into traffic, stops, gives it up, got bumped and knocked to the floor, no whistle. Minute gone by, Bolt has a 2-0 lead on Griffin Packwood with the scoring in the first round of Griffin's second match of the day. And underneath, Smith tried to feed on the block to Brantley.
Harrison's a little frustrated, but he did a nice job there. He got a little deflection, which made the kid have to throw an errant pass. But he needs to, change the body language a little bit. Maybe he's not scoring, but he's doing other things.
Deaton was pinned and threw it cross court. That's turnover number 10 for the Warriors. And now they break him free. And underneath, got the layup to go. So maybe that'll be what gets Harrison going in his second half. He's got 4, and it's the largest lead of the day for the Senators at 30-16. Prompts a timeout, a full one taken by Coach Brent Jamison and the Warriors. So we'll step aside and take a break as well. With 6 minutes to play in the third, Senators up 30-16. Back with more third quarter action right after this.
Make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back we come to the third quarter out of the timeout for Coach Jamison and the Warriors. It is a 30-16 advantage, and fans, after falling behind 2-0 early in the first round down at Jeffersonville, Griffin gets pinned in that first round by Jacob Bolt, again a junior from Columbus East, that came in with a record of 26-7. So Griffin now 1-1 on the day, pinned at the 55-second mark of that first period of action, or first round of action down at Jeff. So again, 1-1 on the day, but Griffin already secured a spot in the semi-state at the Ford Center in Evansville next weekend, as another shot missed below by West Washington. And Scottsburg right back on the break. 2.5 gone by in the period. Mars trying to wall up underneath against Deaton, and he leads it off for Sebastio, who has his first point since the first quarter. He's now in the double figures with 10, and it's 30-18.
Yeah, and I think that started with a bad shot selection on our offensive side.
Out front.
That's 4.
Holden was being hounded. And Sebastio, who picks up the personal, trying to come over the back for the steal. And so Sebastio will set now for a big chunk. 5:06 still to go in the third.
We got the fourth foul on Sebastio, but Holden needs to tighten up the handle a little bit there.
5:06 to play, third quarter. Sebastio out with the 4 personals. Sideline stack. Holden points to Harrison and says, just throw it to him. Straight ahead. Parker in front of Coach Myers at the end of the Senator bench. They'll roll Harrison around, though, and they'll go to Abels in the backcourt. He'll work it against Smith, left side. Comes back, takes a high screen. Another one from Mars. The offer 2. Parker now takes the drive left side. Lost his balance for a moment. Kicks out. Holden, 3. Got it! Another one from downtown for Holden, as he now has 11 on the day. 3 triples for him, 3 for Parker, and it's 33-18, largest lead of the afternoon. Underneath to answer at the other end, Trey Owens finally with his first basket of the day at the 4.5-minute mark of this third quarter. But Holden, how about this hot shooting, Coach? Something that we said in the pregame, shooters shoot to get themselves out of a slump, and he's certainly doing that today with those open looks, as Abels is knocked to the deck.
That's what I was going to say
foul.
before, Owens kind of went with a quick offensive set there, so I didn't want to interrupt you, but that looked like 2 guys, and obviously this game looks like 2 guys that's played a lot of basketball together, because on 2 of Parker's triples in the first half were assists by Holden. So these guys know where each other is going to be.
Know each other like the left and right hand. And underneath, Parker with an offensive rebound off the miss from Mars. He gets the putback. Parker's first points of the half gives him now 13 on the afternoon, and it's a 35-20 advantage. Back to a 15-point margin as Scottsburg tries to continue to dig themselves out of the hole. Coach Jamison watching on. They'll throw underneath, little shove off, and on the clear out, gives him a little forearm help. Deaton breaks himself free for his first field goal of the afternoon, and it's 35-22. Out front, Bausman to Green. Green brings it back center court and lays it off now to Abels on the far side. They try to spin move, crossover, nice handles, floater, count in one off the glass for Abels. Nifty, shifty move, showing off his handles. And he'll go to the line for an and one opportunity. Great dribble drive penetration. And all it takes is just a little bit of patience, Coach. I think sometimes our girls last night didn't exercise that. Hopefully they do tonight. But all it takes is one or two passes to get, guys on their heels or get a zone shifting, whatever the case may be. And things become a lot easier as Abels finishes the three-point play opportunity. Make it now 38-22, largest lead of the afternoon, and a foul in the backcourt.
No, I think he just got the deflection out.
Okay, deflection, so they'll reset it in front of the Senator bench.
I might have called a foul on it, but
foul.
Hey, when things are going good, they're going good.
They are.
But like you said, we've talked about it. Yeah, all that took was three passes, and then, Caden was able to make a move.
High post feed. Owens gives it off to Neese, and Neese, out of control, goes into the padding in that first row of bleachers. And the foul's going to go on Harrison Sanford. This will be only our first foul of the half and 7th on the day. So we played much better with clean hands and quick feet. And that's Harrison's first again, and that will send Jimmy Neese, the 6-foot junior, to the line. He averages 6 a game today with 3 after hitting that first free throw. He'll get one more, making now 38-23, 3:17 to go, third quarter.
So far, just looking at the tempo, 38-23. This fits right in our. This is the kind of tempo we want to play at. We're talking mid 50s probably. Unless somebody gets really hot. So that's a good tempo for us.
Knocked them both down, made it 38-24. So Neese now with 4 on the day. Abels resets it, gives it off to Holden on the back door. Underneath, pump fake, good patience. Harrison finishes off the assist from Bausman. And Sanford now with 6 on the afternoon, make it 40-24.
That's going to be another quick one on Harrison.
And Harrison picks up his second, back-to-back fouls. And before perhaps he gets too frustrated, he's going to come off the floor. Harrison easily down upon himself a few times, and sometimes the body language shows it, but Coach Smith will have a word with him to try to settle him down. But like you said, him and Nick maybe not scoring at a high clip today. It's Parker and Holden doing that. But those two doing a lot of good dirty work in the paint.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're combined for 5 or 6 rebounds, a couple of blocks.
And Gavin with a strong rebound off the miss by Deaton in the high post. They'll feed ahead. Holden thought about 3, skips it out instead to Parker. 3 ball, straight away. Boom, baby! Got another one to go. Parker with his 4th triple of the afternoon, and we are straight rolling, 43-24.
Again, another assist by Holden. I mean, I don't know if they talked last night or something at the girls' game or something, but they are aggressive.
When you left, they actually, funny you should say that, Coach, as Scottsburg misses another one, they came down, put the headsets on, and were doing their best imitation of us. I have pictures.
Is that right?
I have pictures to share, but I think maybe they talked to one another in the headset. Just had a little chat about sharing the rock with one another as Gavin Smith goes up and under for 2 more. He's got 4 off the bench, and Coach, Senators have blown this thing open. A 21-point advantage at 45-24 underneath. Throwing up a hope and a prayer. That was Neese. And got the Senators to bite on the pump fake. And this will go as the second on the junior Caden Abels as we pick up team foul number 3, minute 43 to go. And Neese for the and one opportunity. As Patrick Lincoln will check in after the free throw is shot. That one rattles home. So 7 on the day for Neese. 45-27.
This is kind of maybe a little token press here, but I wouldn't mind us, like I said, 3, 4, 5 passes. Take a little bit of time off the clock before we get into that set.
Minute and a half to go in the third, 45-27. And Parker controls it out front. He'll work it against Prince. Get into the high post. Tried to leave it off for a cutting Nick Mars who couldn't hold on to it. Turnover number 8 to the other end. A layup and one again. Back-to-back three-point play opportunities. As this time it was Owens
Pass is good by number 14.
And that's 4 in the quarter for him. And that's going to bring Zink and Nichols off the bench. Abels will have a seat. Parker will have a seat because that was Abels who picked up back-to-back fouls. Now 3 for him on the day. And the foul count is now 4 apiece.
That's not what you want. You go up by over 20, and then all of a sudden you give a chance for 3-point plays, 2 straight possessions.
But Owens can't capitalize, and off the miss, Smitty wipes the board clean. Gavin Smith with the defensive rebound, and Zink will bring it back into the front court. 45-29, 16-point advantage. Was as many as 21 just a moment ago. Holden with it out front in trouble. Gives it to Nichols, gets it back, crosses over, feeds cross court. Smith loses it on the floor. And Casey Smith goes to the floor. And now Mars. He'll have an exchange again with another one of the Scottsburg players. Casey Smith will check in. Owens will check out. Freshman will have a seat with 51.5 on the clock. Alternating possession will go to West Washington.
I've said this several times last night. Calm down.
Underneath, Mars gets it, gives it to Zink. Senior to senior connection, and Zink on the feed to Mars. We get knocked to the floor and get bailed out with a foul, but not good spacing there. I do not personally, the coach within me does not like the direct corner to post feed. Just not a good angle, and you don't have good spacing, whether it be a wing post entry. As Scottsburg tries to tip it back into play and save it off a steal attempt, but they can't do it.
I said it a minute ago. I think Coach needs timeout. Things are just hectic. I know it's 44 seconds, but things are just hectic right now.
He's got all 5 of them in the holster. Rolling up on 40 seconds to go. Senators will spread the floor. Nichols has it out front. Dribble handoff to Zink, loses it off of his foot. Will's falling off. Prince, another and 1, and this one will go on Holden, his second. Team foul number 5. Parker will check in.
Pass is good by Michael Prince.
So Mitchell Prince, his first basket of the day, and we held him and Owens both in check, and now they're trying to get themselves going here in a comeback effort.
Yeah,
here at the end of the third.
What was it, 21 point lead, and this is 3 straight possessions where we're giving them a chance for an and 1.
Parker in,
Like
Zink
I said,
out.
Things gotten kind of out of control. I know you want to wait till the quarter break, but
makes it now 45-32. Mars has it in the corner, 25 seconds to play. He'll give it up to Holden. He'll dribble, weave through traffic, nearly loses the handle, kicks out to Nichols. Nichols back to Holden, and a smart decision to pull it out and bring it over to Green on the left side. 10 seconds to play now. Nichols into the paint, tries to wrap it around to Gavin Smith, and another turnover. So 3 and 1s, 4 turnovers, all here at the end of the quarter, and a 21-point lead has quickly shrunk to 13 as a substitution for the Warriors will take place, and Slayton will check out. Trey Owens back in. So if they get a basket here, Coach, all of the momentum in the favor of the Warriors going into the fourth.
That's without Sebastio.
Setting with the 4 personals. Prince tries to force a 3. Holden able to wall up, and that's the way we'll end the third quarter. 45-32 as we roll into the fourth. Senators in front. Step aside, take a break. We'll come back with our fourth quarter right after this word from one of our sponsors. You're listening to Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220.
Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup, and the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Scottsburg with the basketball out of the quarter break. Owens missed a layup and underneath. He comes back, blocks a shot taken by Harrison Sanford. Harrison gets his own rebound, and he'll go to the free throw line. Got fouled on the second attempt, and this will go on Trey Owens, who picks up his first foul of the game. But again, as that's team foul number 6 against the Warriors, Coach. Scottsburg, after getting down 21, went on a nice run. 3 straight and 1 opportunities, forced 4 turnovers there late in the quarter, as you said, all with Sebastio on the bench. And they have momentum here rolling into the fourth, but Harrison able to capitalize at the free throw line, at least on the first one. Hit the first, missed the second one, and an offensive rebound, and put back by Parker Green. Gives them 3 straight out of the quarter break and bumps the lead back to 16 now at 48-32. Half minute gone by here in the fourth.
Yeah, that was a good answer for the Senators.
And
it's
a
nice
travel. Travel is turnover number 11 as Coach Jamison pleads for a simple jump stop. Fundamentals you learn at a very young age, and he's seen enough, so he's going to roll the dice and bring Sebastio back in.
And for the Senators, 16-point lead. Basically just started fourth. It's all about smart decisions, good possessions.
Little 55 double nickel, man-to-man full court pressure. Sebastio hanging back near half court as a safety. Senators easily break the pressure as they give it off to Green out front. Little handoff to Holden, trying to get it back to Abels, and he does. Blows by 2 guys, splits defenders. Had a wide open layup, instead tried to kick it to Harrison. They'll go back outside to Holden. Now to Harrison, pump fake, working against Sebastio, who didn't want to pick up the 5th of the day, and gives up a layup instead to Harrison. As he's starting to get things rolling a little bit, it's 50-32, and Harrison now with 7 in the half. He's got 9 in the ball game. Deep 3, Prince off the mark, no good. Rebound fought for, and it comes out to Harrison Sanford. And now Abels will bring it into the front court. And Abels bumped to the floor. 2 purple jerseys on top of him. Him and Owens going after it. There at the scene of the crime was Slayton as well. So a held ball. Scottsburg got it out of the quarter break, so it'll be West Washington basketball with 6:24 to go.
Yeah, that's people on the stands calling for a foul. That one I thought was a foul. They're letting them really D up out here. But they've let it be a pretty physical game the whole night. Parker Green driving down the middle. Misses the layup. Sebastio with the rebound.
Let Coach Gibson take the steering wheel for a while as I get some updates here from the Jeffersonville Regional in wrestling. And we'll have a foul as Sebastio got knocked to the floor. This will be Senator foul number 6 in the second half. And this is going to go on Harrison, his 3rd. Just to update everybody listening at home that's wondering about Griffin down at the Jeffersonville Regional. His last match will be against Bradley Gutierrez from Columbus North. He's 18-8 and a junior from Columbus North. Gutierrez lost in 3 overtime sessions earlier, but this is a kid that beat Griff up at Jennings County at the sectional last weekend, so Griff will try to avenge another loss as Harrison misses one underneath, gets it, puts it back. Coach wanted an and one, but Harrison hanging tough down low, makes it 52-32, back to a 20-point lead. And the Scottsburg Warriors turn it over, but again, Coach, Gutierrez will be his opponent, who lost in 3 overtimes, so maybe Gutierrez a little tired when they play, or whenever they wrestle, rather, in that 3rd set.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping he'd be a little bit fatigued.
But this is a battle for the 3rd, 4th seeds at semi-state, again at Evansville at the Ford Center next weekend. Griffin to take on Bradley Gutierrez from Columbus North with an 18-8 record, and again Griffin trying to avenge a loss at Jennings County sectional last weekend he fell to Gutierrez. So already bounced back against the kid from Salem. We'll hope he does the same and can end up with a 3rd seed heading to semi-state. That last foul on Prince, that's his first of the day, team foul number 7. And that sends Nick Mars to the free throw line. And Mars has a 5th point, first free throw attempts of the day, and Mars knocks them both down. Nick, 66% on the year.
Back up to a 22-point lead.
And
so
that is our largest.
After it got a little bit dicey there, and I was calling for the timeout, we responded well.
We need a TO. Coach let him play through it, figure it
That's
out
a nice job by Parker.
Yep. Forced another turnover. That's 12. But Coach, sometimes, you see it all the time in a college game. Sometimes a coach will burn a timeout.
No, I'm
get their
guilty
guys
of
reset.
that defensively all the time. I can't stand spending timeouts on the defensive side unless it's just a super important part of the game. Sometimes you just got to play through it.
Right.
I agree with that. I mean, I know I was calling for it, but I understand. I've been in that situation.
And like you said, you see it a lot. Sometimes and that's Sebastio's 5th. He was hounding Parker out front like crazy. And Sebastio, he's going to check out, Coach, cash in his chips with 10 points on the day. Scoreless in the 2nd and 4th quarters, of course, setting with foul trouble in both of those periods. But that'll be team foul number 8. Senators in the bonus the rest of the way and setting pretty right now, as Coach Jameson will use up his full allotted time to bring a sub in, and it will be Patrick Lincoln, a 6'1" junior, to check in. Sebastio will check out.
He just about got teed up.
5:04 to go in regulation. 54-32, largest lead of the day at 22. And
It might have been a
Parker Green,
ticky-tack one earlier in the first half, but he was all over Parker on that one. I don't know.
Gonna offer him a saddle there.
Yes.
As Parker goes to the free throw line, a 67% shooter on the year, 14 of 21. Parker's first attempt of the day up and good, so he'll earn one more. Parker had 11 in the first half, 5 in the 3rd quarter to run him to 16, and now with 3 here, 19, and can't get 20, but Parker does have a new career high, folks, because 18 was the previous high for Parker against Perry Central. Underneath, nice little take off glass for Jimmy Neese. He's done all of his damage in the final 3 quarters. Makes it now 55-34. And Senators careless with the ball on that possession. Not a good possession, and that leads to a layup to the other end for Casey Smith. That's his first point since the 2nd quarter. Senators have committed now 11 turnovers on the day. Mars has it, and Coach Smith burns a full timeout with Nick in trouble right in front of the bench in the double team. And so Coach will burn his first timeout of the day with 4:24 to go in regulation. 55-36, Senators in front. We'll step aside, take a break, and we'll come back with more right after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks. We just bought a fixer-upper, and I don't know where to begin. So I went to see Paul at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nate we have everything he needs to help him repair their home, from a wide selection of paint colors, craftsman tools, and the best lawn and garden brands.
Ace is a place with exactly what you need, starting with help.
Save big all month long on Red Hot buys at Ace Hardware of Salem. Find current savings at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
We come for more 4th quarter action out of the timeout by Coach Smith. His team in firm control of this one. Get their thumb on the Warriors, 55-36. Halfway point here of the 4th. Dangerous pass from Green to Abels, who feeds underneath to Harrison. Counted and one as he gets the finish off the window with a little smooch. He'll go to the free throw line for an and one opportunity. And Harrison
Nice job.
Didn't do a lot in the first half offensively, Coach, but he's come to life here with 7, looking for 8 alone here just in the fourth quarter.
We talked about it in the first half. We didn't like his body language. That's why are you shaking your head and drooping your shoulders in the first quarter, second quarter? There's a lot of game left. Go out, improve your play if you don't like the way you're playing, you know? And that's the one thing we do. Anytime he steps on the floor, he's one of the best athletes out there. So he should act like it more.
Mars picks up his
You're
second.
right. He's had a great second half.
Mars picks up his second, puts up Scottsburg in the bonus. We're already in the bonus.
7
Next one will be
points.
double bonus for us.
Right, 7 points in this quarter, and I have him for 3 rebounds in this quarter alone.
7 in the quarter, 11 and a half, and 13 overall on the day. With how many rebounds?
Total, he's got 5, 3 in this quarter though.
So a miss at the other end off of the bonus opportunity from the line. Front end short by Neese. Rebound pulled down by Parker. As Holden gets it, leads a 3-on-2 break underneath. Harrison again, he's got 15. Harrison now with a new career high on the day after those back-to-back possessions, make it 59-36. Matching our largest lead of the day at 23, and Parker picks up his second, team foul number 8. And an and one opportunity for Trey Owens, who has 6. He left that one short. Couldn't finish the free throw. 59-38, Senators out of there with it. As Parker controls out top, leaves it to Mars, turns, squares, throws a wild pass. Put some heat on that fade across the floor. Abels could not get up quick enough to handle. It'll be a turnover. There's 6 of the half, now 12 overall, and Coach Smith will burn a timeout, wants some composure from his guys with 3:43 to go in this one. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Senators on Salem's 1220.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Neese missed the front end of and one. 3:43 to go on the game reset. 59-38. Senators enjoying a 21-point cushion. They've led by 23 on a couple of occasions. Much needed performance and win on tap here today for the Senator group. I know still 3:43 to go, and not certainly counting the chicks before they're hatched, but looks like this one's going to end up as a W for this young group of Senators as they poke it away from behind on the dribble drive into the paint. Scottsburg will reset it. Both teams into bonus. Next Scottsburg foul will put the Senators in the double. Scottsburg committing 9, Senators with 8 in this half. Out front, Owens, spin move against Parker, who walls up, forces the miss, gave up the rebound and an and one opportunity as Parker got beat to the board. Owens being just a little more physical than Parker on that particular possession. And that'll be now 9 fouls apiece, so both will be in the double bonus the rest of the way home, as Owens had a chance at an and one just a moment ago before the timeout by Coach Smith. Left it short, actually. He's had 2 and one opportunities that he couldn't finish on. Not a real great free throw shooter, and that one off the mark as well. Rebound fought for, and it's going to be last touched by Harrison. Coach says it doesn't matter, and he barks out to his guys, don't worry about it, it's next play, and it seems like we preached that a lot during football season.
The officials had a very good look at that. I thought it went off Scottsburg's knee.
Underneath on the feed, nice steal, great effort. Nick comes up with the steal, forces turnover number 13 for the Warriors, and Abels has it now to Holden at the top of the key. He'll try to dribble out of the trap and try to run and jump anything they can now to force a turnover with 3 minutes to go in this one. 59-40. And Senators have got to continue to move with a purpose here and not get complacent. Behind the back, good handles for Abels, leaves it off to Holden, skips it out now to Parker.
Play, kick it back out.
I love it. You're not forcing anything. You're making them run and chase. Eventually they'll get tired and we'll get a layup out of it, hopefully with 2:45 and counting. Being super patient with the basketball. And a backdoor cut. Couldn't get Holden, so Parker will dribble it over. And it counts on. And he lost the handle for a moment, goes high post, and Mars will be bumped from behind. It's been him and Nice jawing at each other all day and being very physical, and Nice will pick up number 10 for the Warriors. And for Nice, that's going to be his second on the day. So Nick Mars back to the free throw line, where on the day he's 2 for 2. Get the double bonus here. 6 points on the day for Mars. Averages 10 to lead the team. It's the first. 60 to 40. Parker Green out there with Mars, Sanford, Bousman, and Abels. Smith, Prince, Owens in there with Nice. And with Patrick Lincoln for the Warriors. Second one was missed. Senators get a big offensive rebound. They'll kick out and start to work the clock. I love it, Coach.
Yeah,
we've got to have patience.
Yeah.
But I just think in watching both the girls and boys, and it's no knock on either one, and sometimes we just get too impatient, and Holden, the recipient of a layup.
They found Lincoln underneath. Nobody knew where he was at.
And that's his first points of the day, so make it 62-42, 2-minute warning, and Mars will have it poked away, and a foul from behind. May get Smith or Owens, one or the other, maybe neither one. Check it, they will. Get it on Smith, his third.
Yeah, going back to
check that, his fourth.
It's almost like with, and the girls are guilty of it too. It's like, got to score, got to score, got to score, got to score.
And that's a good mentality.
But sometimes, you know, the situation doesn't call for that. Just like what we just
it's like going into instead of a 2-minute, more of a 4-minute offense for, you know, you just slow the roll just a little bit and make the defense chase. You'll wear them down as Mars unable to connect on either one. Now 0 for 3 in his last 3 attempts after starting 3 for 3, and a poke away, and it'll stay with Scottsburg at this end. Minute 49 to go. This one all but over. Senators will try to close out strong, throw this one in the ice box, and be ready to move on, as they will have one of their 2 remaining road games coming up on Tuesday night, as we'll make the trip down Highway 60 and head over to the house that Doc Nash built to take on the Braves, a rematch of an overtime thriller in the holiday tourney at Salem back in December. Minute and a half to go. By the way, Doc was in the house the other night.
Yeah, I saw him.
Taking in the Crawford County game. As Parker feeds in the corner to Mars. He'll now drive baseline, try to skip it across, and it will be a turnover. 7th one of the half, 13th of the game. 75 seconds to play in this one. Borden, by the way, in action today against Springs Valley at the Hawks Nest. And Casey Smith with another basket. Give him now 10 off the bench today for Coach Jamison. 62-44. Timeout on the floor. A 30-second timeout for the Warriors. 2 fulls remaining. We'll keep it right here again. 70 seconds to play in this one. And I know we'll talk about it more on our Ace Hardware of Salem post-game show, but fans in Senator Nation, this is your call. This is your call. Get out tonight. Get here to Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium. It is going to be a rocking environment tonight. 7:30 the tip, sectional 62, the girls to take on Trinity Lutheran.
Right? What was it, a 6-point game? Something, or 9? 6 or 9-point game, if I
now you're going to make me dig in the archives, Coach.
But it was a 2-point game with 2 minutes to go, if I remember right.
55-61 loss. You are correct, a 6-point loss, but we were down in that one, if you remember. 54-38 with about 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes to go, and made an incredible run, but the girls ran out of gas and going to have their hands full with Hackman and Janes down low tonight.
You know, you're talking about sectional final games. How big is the start? You've been involved in it. The start is big, right? Huge.
And we were fortunate enough here in '98 in the first class basketball sectional here on this very floor to get out to a nice start and get a few baskets right out of the gate.
Kind of gets the nerves out.
Not only shook the butterflies a little bit, but put Springs Valley behind the 8 ball, and we were able to get off to that hot start, which is big, but you know, you've got so many advantages playing on your home floor, and I know that coaches talk to them about it. The crowd's a big factor. We had a monster crowd here those first 2 years when we hosted sectional and class basketball, and I'm sure this place will be full tonight as well. Can't underestimate the power of a loud crowd, a home crowd at that, so please get out here tonight and support the girls. Doors open, I believe, at 6 or 6:15, and it's a 7:30 tip, so should be a fun one as Scottsburg picks up team foul number 12 of the half. Second on the day against Mitchell Prince, and Abels will check out after the free throws. He was able to knock down 1 of 2. So a good day for Caden off the bench, 63-44. And into the ball game, Ethan McGinnis, a 6-foot sophomore, for his first minutes of the day. Also out there, 31, Michael Chapman, as the bench has started to clear here. Number 42, Jared Lewis, into the ball game as well for the Warriors. And number 5, Caleb Beswick, into the ball game. So everybody that's dressed for Scottsburg today now getting minutes on the floor, and a turnover will be their 14th of the half. Half minute to go in this one. Chase Farmer into the ball game for West Washington. Bobby Stevens in as well, a freshman and a sophomore. Jake Strange back in also. 19-point lead for the Senators. Like I said, put this one in the ice box and get ready for a big revenge return match with Borden. They suffered an overtime loss, a heartbreaker. Had a chance with Parker to win it from 3 from the left wing up at Salem in the consolation game of that holiday tournament.
Without Holden, right?
His shot fell short. Holden was still out with the concussion, and that was his second game miss with concussion-like symptoms. So this one will end here today. 63-44 is your final. Senators get a much-needed win on their home floor. Now will improve to 2-5 on the Ron Smith court, go to 7-10 overall. So we'll step aside, we'll take a break, come back and begin our Ace Hardware of Salem post-game show. We'll talk to Victoria's Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith, to get his thoughts on today's big win over the Warriors out of the Mid-Southern Conference. We'll come back with that conversation and more on our post-game show right after this word from a few of our sponsors.
Police, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Prevail here today for just the second time on the year. Of course, they've only played 5 games here at home, but they've won now their second on their home floor and improve again to 7-10 overall with a 63-44 win over the Scottsburg Warriors. A great showing today by a couple of freshmen and a sophomore as we get 3 guys into double figures on the afternoon. Of course, free throw shooting not the greatest and it hasn't really been all year as far as the volume shot or the percentage hit, but that's something we can continue to easily work on and try to get corrected and right that ship before tournament play. Let's look at our individual scoring today for both clubs. First for the Scottsburg Warriors, with the loss now dropping to 4-14 on the year. They get two guys in double figures with 10 apiece. Nicholas Sebastio with 10, although he battled foul trouble and did foul out of this one this afternoon. Casey Smith comes off the bench and matches him with 10 as well. Trayton Owens with 8, Mitchell Prince with 3, Jimmy Neese with 9, and the other starter, Brantley Deaton, with 2. Patrick Lincoln come off the bench and scored as well, just 2 points on the afternoon for him. Off the bench, Andrew Slayton, Caleb Beswick, Ethan McGinnis, Michael Chapman, and Jared Lewis all played as well, but that was in kind of garbage cleanup time there at the end of the ball game when it was all finished, and he played some of his young guys on the JV, and none of them able to tally as well. 5 of 11 from the free throw line today for the Warriors for just 45%, and they gave it up 14 times in the turnover department, 8 in the first half, 6 in the second half of play. Meanwhile, for West Washington, again, now 7-10 overall on the year. They get 3 guys in double figures, 2 of those 3 reaching career highs here this afternoon. Holden and Parker starting to ramp things up and ratchet it up offensively as they get going and do most of their dirty work on the offensive end in the first half of play. Harrison, though, comes in as the Mariano Rivera, the closer for the Senators. He does most of his damage in that fourth and final quarter. In fact, he scored 9 of his 15 in that fourth and final period of play. Parker Green leads the way for West Washington today. Parker with a career high, as Parker's career high now stands at 19. Harrison Sanford, previous career high of 12, so him and Parker both with career highs. Parker again with 19, Harrison with 15. Again, Harrison with 9 of his 15 coming in the fourth quarter of play. Holden with 13 on the afternoon, 8 of his 13 coming in the first half of action. Then from there, Cam Zink went scoreless on the day as a starter. Nick Mars chipped in 7. Off the bench, Jake Strange, Mikey Nichols, Caden Abels, Gavin Smith, Chase Farmer, and Bobby Stevens all see minutes today in this rout of the Warriors. Abels chips in with 5, Gavin Smith with 4 off of the bench today. Senators, though, just 8 of 17, as we said, from the free throw line for just 47%, 0 for 1 in the first half of play from the foul line. In the turnover department, they almost matched Scottsburg. Scottsburg again with 14 in all. Senators with 13 in the win here today. 6 in the first half, 7 in the second half of play. Scoring by quarter after the first stop, Senators 15-8 after that first 8 minutes of action. They outscore the Warriors 12-8 in the second quarter and take a 27-16 advantage into the locker room. Then in the third quarter, they put up 18 more, outscoring the Warriors 18-16 in a tightly contested third quarter of play. Went into the fourth quarter up 45-32, and from there they stick 18 again on the board in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Warriors 18-12, and they prevail with the 63-44 victory. And we're joined now by Victoria Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith. And coach, you get great balance again today from some of your starters, and 2 of them getting career highs today. Parker, again, very aggressive. Him and Holden getting their outside shot to go. And as I said before you come on, Harrison kind of serving as the Mariano Rivera kind of the group, coming in as the closer with 9 of his 15 in the fourth.
Yeah, it was a great effort today, and really proud of the guys, and you know, they stepped up and deserve this victory with the way they came out, played, the competitive spirit they had, and just the focus on you know, our team going out and being the best we could be today, and that was really our goal. And so kids, you know, they did it, and they deserve a lot of the credit, or all the credit. And one thing that, you know, we talked about Thursday is you're never as bad as you look, you know, and that was the last thing we told them. You know, you're never as bad as you look, because Thursday we looked really bad. You know, it was the worst we looked all year probably, and or in a while, you know. And you know, today, you know, we looked really good. We want to remind them, hey, you know, this is great. You know, let's be excited about it and enjoy it. But you're never as bad or never as good as you look either. You know, we got to keep working. but it's definitely exciting to see how we played today and see that if we put together 32 minutes, what we can do. And I think if we play like we played today, if that team shows up, then we can play with anybody, and we can certainly be a real contender down the stretch.
And in talking to you and Coach Gibson about this a number of times, with so many winnable games left on the schedule and the majority of them being at home, again, hopefully the boys see the results of putting together a full 4 quarters of play, which I felt like we did for the first time in quite some time here this afternoon.
Yeah, probably. I mean, really all year. I mean, I think we put it together, and it was everybody contributing. It wasn't any one guy or 2 guys. I mean, we had a great effort from everybody who was on the floor, and the guys on the bench were very spirited. The way we started the year, that's something we kind of gotten away with. We had a little team meeting yesterday, and we talked about that and how important that is. And we lost that a little bit, after losing some games. We got, guys get down on themselves. The team gets down a little bit. And we really made an effort, to focus on that today, just having great spirit and energy. And a guy didn't get to play a lot of minutes, but a guy that did a super job on the bench with that was Mikey Nichols. I heard him back there, supporting his teammates and cheering and being a real leader back there. And Gavin Smith does a great job with that too. And Gavin came in and gave us some good minutes, during the game. But he was also back there being real spirited and bringing some great emotion. And, it was something that, we need. You got to have that positive attitude and positive spirit. And it was great to see that today. And hopefully we can build on that, headed forward. So, again, really proud of all the kids. Everybody contributed one way or another. And it's great. It's always fun when your team comes together and everybody does a good job at whatever they're asked to do. It's always fun to see that pan out and see your guys come around and have a great game and get a win.
And Coach, one of the big issues for us shooting wise on the year, we're just 28% from downtown, and we've had so many good open looks that just would not go. And we've talked about this, guys like Holden and Caden Abels off the bench, Cam, they've had these looks, they won't go, but it's just like in baseball, batters got to keep swinging the bat to get out of a slump. And today, how about this? Holden and Parker combined for 7 triples in this one, and finally it seemed like they started to get their confidence and their stroke going.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just seeing the ball go through the hoop a couple times makes a huge difference for a shooter. We've definitely struggled at times or throughout the year, and hopefully this will be a kind of a little breakout for some guys with shooting the ball. Shooting cures a lot of ills, and seeing that ball go through the hoop for us early was big. It was helped us get some separation, and then we could really spread them out and take advantage of some things. And so it really just came together really well, and just really pleased to get this win and pleased with the way we played. The effort we have.
I know you talked in the pregame about a couple of guys that were started on the scouting report, and Owens and Prince in the backcourt, and both of them certainly very capable ball handlers and good with the dribble drive, but I thought like we did a much better job today at times with the dribble drive defense than what we did maybe on Thursday night against Crawford.
Yeah, we did a real nice job defensively tonight. I thought Parker did a super job, on the Owens kid. I mean, there was a few times there late, he beat him, but overall, we kept him contained and forced him to go left, and he's going to be a really good player once he gets to where he is able to beat you both ways really well. I mean, he's going to be tough. He's a strong, athletic kid and really good kid, and so look for him to keep getting better and being a really good player. And then the Prince kid, we did a super job on him. I don't even know if he got a 3 off, or he got 1 off. I don't know if he made any.
He didn't hit any and just finished with 3. Him and Owens combined for 11.
We pretty much shut him out, and that was one of our goals. And then it was great. With Sebastian getting in some foul trouble, that helped us a ton. They went small, and we were able to exploit that a lot too. So I mean, but there's things that we didn't execute as well as we need to, and we're going to have to get better at those things. We got to remember that this is still part of the process, and we got this month left really to get ourselves ready to be where we want to be. But this is definitely a step in the right direction, and really proud of the guys for coming around and not letting Thursday come into Saturday. And we didn't let Thursday night's poor effort and loss beat us today. And so I'm really proud of those guys for bouncing back.
And another short turnaround. I know kids will be out of school on Monday, but you come in and have practice, and get ready to go down to the house that Doc built and have a little rematch with the Braves. I know that was a tough one in the consolation game, but again, without the services of your point guard, I'm sure having a healthy roster, it might be a little bit different outcome.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was early, and we had an opportunity that game. You know, we had an opportunity to put it away a couple times, and we didn't. And you know, and they had a kid step up and make a play, and that's what we talk about. I mean, you can't play scared. You got to play fearless, and you got to step up and make plays. And you know, we'll see if we can do that Tuesday. But you know, it's just, I mean, it's going to come down to, you know, what type of attitude and effort and focus, you know, we bring to the table, and if we can go down there and execute. But when we have a good positive spirit, and everybody's focused on the team's mission, seems like good things happen for you. It seems like the ball goes through the hoop. Seems like, you know, you make big plays, and game gets a lot easier when you kind of get out of your own way. And you know, I thought we did that today. I was really proud of us.
Coach, before we let you go, just thinking ahead tonight, the girls in sectional championship action, and you've got a sectional title on your resume from your time with the Merschbrock twins and stuff down at Charlestown. Any words of advice for the girls?
Well, you know, just no regrets. I mean, you got to go out and you know, lay it on the line. There's no tomorrow. It's win or go home. So I mean, you can't go out and play scared.
Yep.
You know, you got to come out ready to play and know that you know, it's got to be a team effort. Everybody's got to pull the rope the same direction, and you got to play like there's no tomorrow. But I mean, I have no doubt in my mind they can go get this thing done. I mean, they're a great team, and they have, you know, a lot of talented kids, and you know, playing here, you know, on our home court. I mean, winning the sectional here 2 years ago was the crowd was awesome. It was just a great environment, great experience, and you know, definitely one of the highlights of my life personally. I mean, it was just really special, and I think it'd be just as special to, you know, I'm sure for our girls to get that sectional championship, and you know, it never gets old. So you know, they need, you know, just getting that first one and getting that experience seems to build on it. So just got to go out and be ready to play and go battle.
A title as a Pirate, and then comes here and delivers two to Senator Nation over the last couple of seasons, 3 in his pocket. Coach Smith joins us here after a big win with his group today, 63-44 the final. We'll talk to you prior to.
I want to clarify. I appreciate that, but I've got to coach some really talented, great kids.
This is true. This is true, but you can take a little bit of credit, Coach. Come on now.
You know,
we talked about this last year. You got to have a head cook in the kitchen, right?
Yeah. But I mean,
chefs.
I've coached some great kids on those teams, and was really fortunate to be a part of those experiences and thankful for that. Those moments. I mean, you can't beat those.
They're special,
aren't
they?
They're just really special experiences, and I'm just glad I got to be a part of that and those great memories.
All right, Coach. We'll talk to you prior to the tip.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Coach Smith joins us here on our Ace Hardware Salem post-game show as, again, the Senators win at 63-44. I was hoping to get Parker Green on here. He had the headsets on last night with Holden down here, and they were doing their best imitation of me and Coach Gibson, and I think Parker has evacuated the premises. I was going to get him on and talk about his new career high with 19 points on the day. We'll see if Holden can maybe get on the phone and see if he's still around. Parker may just be hiding on us a little bit, but nonetheless, Parker and Harrison career highs today. 2 guys in double figures. Holden the third in that trio in double figures with 13. But a great win here today. Coach, you ready to get some team statistics?
Absolutely. Senators, again, second, you know, straight night. We shot the ball at times really, really well. Inside the arc, we were 17 of 33 for 52%. Behind the arc, sizzling 7 of 11 for 64%. Total of 55%. You shoot 55% in a ball game, you're probably got a good shot to win it. Not a big fan of. Did you say we were 8 of 16 from the 8 of 17? So that still have to work on our free throws a little bit. But again, dominating the boards. The Senators out-rebound the Warriors 30-13. So 9 offensive rebounds. So we've dominated the paint all night long. So 19 assists to their 12. Everything else was pretty even for them. They didn't shoot too poorly, really, inside the arc. 18 of 34 for 53%. But they were, where we were 7-11 behind the arc, they were 1 of 9. So, so that's we've been on the other side of that before, so we know how that feels.
This guy standing here at the end of the press row can talk to you a little bit about that, because he finally got his stroke going today.
Yeah, he looked confident, looked smooth, and it was a nice ball game for Holden. He ended up with 8 assists, a couple rebounds, a steal, 3 deflections, and 2 block shots. So he filled up the stat sheet. A lot of guys did. Parker also had 6 rebounds and 4 assists, a couple blocks. Sanford 5 rebounds, 3 blocks. Mars 7 rebounds, 2 steals. Jake came off the bench with 4 rebounds. He didn't really score, but he was active on the board. So and sometimes that's why I get frustrated. He'll come in and have 4, 6 points, or even that one night he went double figures and only have 1 or 2 rebounds. If I was 6'4", I'd have 5 rebounds in my sleep before I even got there. But, it's nice for him to be productive on the boards. But overall, just a fantastic game, and we got to keep it rolling because we got a big game, revenge game on Tuesday.
Sure. We'll step aside. We'll take our final break of the afternoon here from the Ron Smith Court. We'll come back and put a neat little bow on this one. Senators win at 63-44. Back to name our player of the game and close things out right after this word from Ace Hardware of Salem.
We just bought a fixer-upper, and I don't know where to begin. So I went to see Paul at our neighborhood Ace.
I told Nate we have everything he needs to help him repair their home, from a wide selection of paint colors, craftsman tools, and the best lawn and garden brands.
Ace is a place with exactly what you need, starting with help.
Save big all month long on Red Hot buys at Ace Hardware of Salem. Find current savings at facebook.com/Ace Hardware of Salem.
Final time here to the Ron Smith Court, where this afternoon the Senators moved to 7-10 on the year with a thrilling 63-44 win over the Scottsburg Warriors. They fell behind 2-0 early, but used a 12-0 run in that first quarter to claim their first double-digit lead of the day and never really looked back, leading by 23 on a couple of different occasions. Time to name our Ace Hardware player of the day. That's going to go to the freshman guard, Parker Green, a career-high 19 points for Old Park here today, as well as 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 big block shots. So congratulations to Parker Green, one of 3 players in double figures today with a career-high 19 points. You are our Ace Hardware player of the game. So here, Senators, 3 guys in double figures. As you said, they'll try to keep that momentum rolling as they head down to take on the Braves Tuesday night, one of their 2 final road games before tournament play will begin at the end of the month, but certainly seem to be headed on the right track heading into that matchup with Borden on Tuesday night. And then again, fans, just a reminder, girls here tonight, so Coach Gibson and I will work a little doubleheader today and have a little bit of a break in between, as the girls will tip it at 7:30 tonight in Sectional 62's championship matchup. It'll be the Lady Senators taking on the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars in a rematch of a game just a few weeks ago. Again, it was a 61-55 final against the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars, a game where they fell down by as many as 16, 54-38 in the closing minutes. That game played back on January the 4th, actually right out of the holiday break. So, Coach, hopefully Senator Nation that's listening today to today's broadcast heard the call and they get out in full support tonight of the girls.
Yes, please come out. Like you said, it is an advantage. We're playing on our home court, so let's get that home court advantage, and that's packing the gym, being loud, helping the ladies win. It's like I said, so far this day has been aces. I mean, the Griff advances to the semi-state. The junior high teams played well. Now we need the boys get the big win here. So yeah, let's bring this Saturday home with the sectional title. That would be awesome.
I can promise you this, speaking from a player's perspective, there's nothing like it to cut down the nets on your home floor and have that crowd rush the floor and be out there with you to celebrate. It's something that will stick in these girls' memories for the rest of their life, and the coaching staff as well. So we want to wish all the best to Coach Russell and the girls and his staff, and we'll talk to Coach Russell prior to the tip tonight. We will be on the air with our special pregame show coverage at 7 o'clock, getting you ready for that 7:30 tip. Doors open at 6, so get out and support the Lady Senators, and if you can't make it to the game, tune in to WSLM 1220 on the AM dial. And Coach, we'll see you in just a few hours.
All right, we'll see you in just a bit.
Here today, again, the Senators get 3 players in double figures, led by Parker Green's 19. They win at 63-44 is the final. We want to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to today's broadcast of Senator Basketball, as always here on Salem's 1220. We also want to give a final shout-out and thank you to all the great sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator Basketball and Lady Senator Basketball possible here today on WSLM. Our pregame show sponsor, John Jones GM City, as well as Eddie Gilstrap Motors, bringing you the Senator Halftime Report, and Ace Hardware of Salem, bringing you this post-game show coverage from the Ron Smith Court, as well as McDonald's on South Main Street, Walmart of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and Brady Bishop and Channel Seeds, all tremendous sponsors all season long. Fans, do your part to let those sponsors know how much those guys are truly appreciated, and because without that support, Coach Gibson and I would not be able to do the job we love each night. The Lady Senators are on the floor. For our studio engineer and producer back at the station today, Greg and Becky White both at the station. Busy day on tap. A lot of basketball games covered on WSLM. Great job as always by those two. For my sidekick and partner in crime, Mark Gibson. And for our live stream video feed operator, Craig Akers. This is Misty Jones saying so long from now from the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium. Senators romp over the Warriors of Scottsburg out of the Mid-Southern Conference, 63-44 the final. We'll be back tonight at 7 o'clock for our special Lady Senator tip-off pregame show. Until then, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Go Lady Senators. We'll see you in just a few. Goodbye, everybody.